Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. Today, we are going to talk about breath and how important it is for our body, and how we breathe is very important. So let me introduce you to some new words that we're going to be using today. We're going to use the word prana, which is an Indian word which means breath, and pranayama, which means exactly the same thing. We're going to talk about energy, how breathing deeply into our body gives our body energy. We're going to talk about how it nourishes, or another word for nourishes, that feeds your body and gives you the nourishment you need. For example, when you're really hungry and you eat something, you feel so much better, right? The same thing with breath. When you breathe really deeply into your belly, you nourishing your body with all that oxygen, and it makes your body feel good. Another new word is calm, or calmness, because by breathing deeply into our body, it calms our body down and it makes us feel good. And the last new word is breath, because we are breathing, right? So these are the new words for today. Today, our practice is going to be learning about breathing and breath and how important it is for our body. Now today, Miss Barry brought some models out that I've had, and I wanted to just show you, maybe I should back it up. When we breathe deeply, we're filling our lungs up with air from the top of our lungs to the bottom of our lungs. And if you look on this model, we have two lungs, and they look just like this. They're like shaped like a tear, right? But when we breathe shallow breathing, just a little bit, we only breathe into this much of our lungs. That's hardly anything. When you breathe, you want to breathe all the way down to the bottom of your lungs and all the way back up out. All the way back down to the bottom of our lungs, fill it up like a balloon, and then let all that air out. And the slower you do it, the more oxygen your lungs are getting and your whole body's getting. So it's important to remember that you have two lungs, one on your right side and one on your left side. And this I thought was a really cool fact. Our vital organs, the organs that we need to live, are protected by the strongest bones in our body. For example, now my skull here is not great because it's missing the top, but you could tell from this side here, our brain is enclosed underneath our skull, and our skull protects our brain. Now look how there are no openings in the skull. It really protects the whole thing. Now inside our rib cage, and this is why I'm showing you this model, is where our lungs would be located and our heart. And we couldn't live without our brain, and we couldn't live without our lungs, and we couldn't live without our heart. And isn't it so cool that our body is protected by bones, so those vital organs can protect us and keep us healthy? Now notice how the skull has no openings, but the rib cage has lots of openings. And that has to do with when you breathe. If you breathe with your whole lung, your lung expands like a balloon, and it can go almost in between sometimes if you breathe hard enough, and it gives it room to do that. Whereas if our rib cage looked like this, our lungs would not be able to expand to its capacity, to as much as it possibly can. So isn't that cool? I thought those were interesting facts. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this to the side, and we're going to talk about breathing from our belly. So before we begin, we're going to start just reviewing some body parts because we're going to be using it in the video. I'm going to ask you to breathe into your belly. We all know our belly's here. I'm then going to ask you to breathe into your hips. You feel your hip bones? I'm going to ask you to breathe into your knees. I have to point this down so you can see me. So you can breathe into your knees. I'm going to ask you to breathe into your ankles. You know where those ankle bones are? I'm going to ask you to breathe into your toes. Then we're going to go up the body again into our ankles, right? To our knees, to our hips, back to our belly. Then we're going to breathe into our chest, which we know is here. We're going to breathe into our shoulders, which we know are here. We're going to breathe into elbows, and we have 2 of them. We're going to bring into our wrists, we have 2 of them. We're going to breathe into our fingers, which we have 10 of them. Then we're going to go backwards again to our wrists, to our elbows, to our shoulders, to our neck, to our shoulders again, to our chest, and then back to our belly again. So it's important that you know where these parts are. So you could do this while you're sitting in a chair. And if you're sitting in a chair, I'm going to go sideways. You could do this on the floor too. Make sure your neck goes in straight line with your shoulders, and your shoulders in a straight line with your hips if you're sitting in a chair. If you're sitting on the floor, you want to do the same thing. And you could sit crisscross applesauce on the floor and do this. I can't move back far enough. Oh, here I can. So you could sit. So you could sit like this, and it could be against the wall, or it could be just like that. But the whole point is to be relaxed. And the last way you could do this is by laying down on a mat. You could just lie flat on your back, on a mat, on a floor, or on the carpet on the floor. And the whole idea is to get nice and relaxed. So boys and girls, I'm going to now lead you through this whole meditation where you're just breathing. And when I breathe, I like to think of it as a figure 8. My breath goes around wherever I tell you to, and then it comes back. And it breathes in, and it breathes back. And remember, we're breathing into our whole lung. We want to try to breathe into the body part Miss Barry tells you to. So are you ready? So I'm going to turn some music on, and we're going to relax, find a nice, comfortable spot, because remember, by breathing like this, it calms our body down, it nourishes our body, it makes us feel good, and that's why we do it. So boys and girls, find a comfortable spot. Miss Barry's going to get the music, and are you ready? I'm ready to relax. I hope you are. So let's turn the music on, because the music will help us get into that position and that mood. There you go. So boys and girls, I want you to breathe into your belly. Remember, our belly's here. Take a deep breath in and breathe deep into your belly. And let it out. You're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe into your hips and let it out. Breathe into your knees and let it out. Nice job, boys and girls. Breathe into your ankles and let it out. Breathe into your toes and let it out. Breathe back into your ankles and out. Breathe into your knees and out. Breathe into your hips and out. Breathe into your belly and out. Breathe into your shoulders and out. Breathe into your elbows and out. Breathe into your wrists and out. Breathe back into your elbows, boys and girls. And out. Breathe into your shoulders and out. Breathe into your neck and out. Breathe into your chest and out. Namaste.